Dear students, in the previous classes, we have studied about the basics features of Unix, the characteristics of Unix, and Unix architecture in detail. Of course, today we are going to study about file system. Every operating system has this facility, file system, because the main goal of the operating system is to interface between user and computer. Of course, on the other hand, the user is going to communicate with computer through files, means managing files, creating files, updating files, deleting files, etc., because the user intend to work with data. So this data will be stored under a file. This file or these files should be stored under the storage devices. So unless and until the operating system is capable of managing files that have been created or stored in the storage media, so we cannot use or we cannot handle the computer in such a way. So every operating system has this facility, that is file system. So as the Unix is OS, the Unix is also has this particular facility. The Unix file system includes directories containing files and directories or subdirectories, each directory of which can contain yet more files and directories. Means the Unix file system may include some directories. So you can say folders, because you are all familiar with Windows. So you used to call the directories as folders and subfolders. So whenever I say directory, you say folder. Whenever I say subdirectory, you can understand with the subfolders. Okay. So uh, directories containing files and other directories or subdirectories, each directory of which can contain again the file or files and also subdirectories. So we can go for creation of a tree structure here. Managing file system is one of the important tasks of system administrator. So in the Unix system administrator is going to handle this or going to manage the file system. Means what type of file is going to be stored or created, so how it is going to be accessed, whether it can be accessed to all or only particular user, okay, depending upon the type of file, the content of the file, in what time it has to be updated, whether it is to be updated or not, whether the file is to be executed or not, whether the file should open or not, so like that, whether the file should share or not. So all these type of activities will be managed by the system administrator. Again we will come to files types. Mainly there are four types of files in Unix. First one, ordinary files. Ordinary file means simple file. An ordinary file may contain text, means you can say text file, a program or other data in either ASCII form or in binary form. So this ordinary or simple file, or say you can say text file, it may have a program. Program is nothing but again content of text or other data in either ASCII form or in binary form. So it may be converted or directly in the ASCII value. Then directory files. So directory files are different here in Unix. Suppose directory X contains A, B, C, and that B is a directory, and B contains U and V files. So this is directory structure. So directory files are nothing but the directory which holds other subdirectories and files. The information of the entire directory structure will be stored in directory files. And device files. So almost in all operating systems you can find these types of files, device files, which stores or these store the information regarding the various devices of the system, computer system. And another one is link file. So as we have said, there are a lot of link files will be there. One of that file will be of course your shortcut file or dynamic linking libraries, DLL files. So these are linking files. So whenever you open Microsoft Word or any word processor program or any application file, then automatically there will be some link files will be there. those files will be get linked with the operating system. If any problem arises between the linking of that, then that time proper message, error message will be displayed. And you can say Unix directory structure. There are some directories in Unix which will install with the Unix operating system as a dependency under the root or main directory. So root is nothing but main directory. There are a lot of directories will be there. You can see the directory structure. One of them etc, which contains all system configuration files and the files which maintain information about the user and the group. So this particular directory will have this information regarding the user and the group. And another one is bin or bin, contains all binary executable files. System binary executable files will be stored under this. Similarly, USR, as the name says, default directory provided by Unix OS to create users' home directories and contains manual pages. Means it is meant for special user. And another one is TMP, the system or users temporary files which will be removed when the system reboots. So most of the time, so many or n number of temporary files will be created whenever you are working with different programs. Sometimes on completion, on exiting the particular program, on terminating the programs, most of the temporary files will be removed from the memory or it will be deleted. But still some directories, some files will be there. So some temporary files will be removed only if the system is rebooted. Only the system is rebooted. Even some files will be there with their name, but you can find some temporary files with 0 byte. The existence is there, but it does not contain any data in it. So most of the times for the managing what you can say operating system, in order to speed up the operating system, so we need to remove these temporary files. Okay, so these types of temporary files will be stored under TMP. Then DEV, actually there are two types of device files, DEV and devices. Contains all device files, that is logical names to physical devices. So this is one wonder which you can find in the operating system. So various or different devices are connected to the computer, but each and every device is recognized or detected by the operating system with different logic or logical names. Suppose a printer is a device. Printer may be recognized by the operating system by PRN. Similarly, monitor may be recognized by MNTR or console. Similarly, keyboard may be recognized with particular name. Mouse may be recognized by particular name. So, in this way, there are so many files will be stored, or you can find so many files in the Unix under the DEV. And another directories you can say, so devices directories contains all the devices files, that is physical names to physical devices. It's not logical names, physical names. Actually, what is the physical name? Physical name will be different, logical name will be different. Okay, so physical name generally is a device driver name which is already stored. Device driver name. So device is hardware, device driver is software. Always device is hardware, device driver is software. So in order to work with the printer, so printer device driver should be proper, printer device driver should be installed in it. Okay, so that software or a simple single file, or sometimes it's the combination of few files, should be stored in the proper directories in a proper way. Then only you can work with those types of devices. Okay, then home directory, default directory allocated for the home directories of normal users when the administrator don't specify any other directory. So when the administrator is not specified any directory for the normal users, then the user may go for this particular home directory for their file operations. Then VAR, which contains all the system log files and message files. Okay, so log files are some different, which contains the information of the user. Okay, when the user logged in until the user logged out. So till that, what you can say, it is a session. This may be a session. All these session details will be stored under this VAR. Then SBIN, which contains the system administrator executable files, which contains the system administrator executable file. So always in bin. So almost in all softwares, bin directory will be having different kind of executable files. Even in Java you can see, even in C++ you can see the bin folder or bin directory will be containing all executable files, all application files. Which similarly you can see even in the Windows, you open the bin directory, you can see lot of application files in type, file name and next column type ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತದೆ. Okay, so then there are two types of commands. Of course, this may be the last slide. Okay, internal command and external command. Okay, so basically in operating system, especially character user interface, you can find two types of commands, internal and external. Generally all internal commands comes with shell. Okay, internal commands are something which inbuilt into the shell. For the shell built in commands, the execution speed is very really high because all is built in the shell. It is because no process needs to be spared for executing it. For example, if you use the cd change directory command, no process is created. The current directory simply gets changed on executing it. So here is a simple concept. It is, if it is locally available, anything if it is locally available, so in order to avail that, so we will not spend more time on it. Similarly, if you want to bring the same item from anywhere else, okay, then it takes time. In the similar concept, all internal commands are stored in shell. We are going to execute the command in the shell prompt itself. So generally logically user will be in the shell prompt only, shell place only. So shell has all internal commands. So whenever you type any command and press enter, so automatically that command will be available locally. So automatically it will be executed, or it will be executed very fastly. Okay, but when it comes to external commands are not built into the shell. These are executable parent in a separate file. Means its existence, separate existence, independent existence will be there for the external command. Okay, so in order to work with, so you should go for user bin, the executable, or user bin cat gets executed. If you want to, cat command is used to create the file or update the file. So if you want to use these types of external commands, so separate file is there. If that separate file is not what I can say, in a proper way, then automatically you can find some errors. Even in MS-DOS, you can find some of the external commands may not be installed properly. Then if you want to execute that command, so you will find the error. Okay, so with this I will conclude today's session. Thank you.